Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from T&J, and right now we're looking at a player that isn't really getting much burn for us. He's been in a good role coming off the bench, a platoon guy, Keon Broxton, who actually got optioned in real life. He's not doing so well hitting at the plate in real life. He's not doing so well hitting at the plate for me. So we're in need of a second baseman or a shortstop, a guy that we can play in our middle infield, maybe a prospect. So we're actually going to move him. We're going to trade him. He's 28 years old. He's got B potential, 79 overall. But two reasons why I'm trading him. A, because he's not doing well for me. And B, because in real life, he's actually on his way out the door. Because think about it. We just moved up Lewis Brinson to the MLB level for good now. I think it's official. They just moved him up. So Keon Broxton, he's probably going to lose a spot to Brinson. Brinson was killing it at AAA, so it's about time. Broxton, he's good on defense. He's had a good run with the Brewers, but all good things must come to an end. He's done great for us. I actually should have got rid of him instead of Domingo Santana when I chose between the two, but oh well. So look who we're going to get back. We're going to get back our former player, Isan Diaz. Remember, Isan Diaz is right now one of the top prospects in the Brewers organization. So we're just getting him back in a trade. Isan Diaz, let's look at his stats here. He's a lefty from the batting side, righty in the field. He has pretty good contact and power for a second baseman. His fielding could be a little better. His speed is pretty bad, but still, I like him, what he brings to the table. He has a tremendous upside, B potential, 22 years old. He came from Puerto Rico. I like him. So we're going to actually execute this trade. And you know what's funny? Before I make this trade, I could actually get Eddie Rosario too in this trade, but I know it's something that the Twins wouldn't do. Remember, I want to keep this realistic. And I feel like this is a realistic trade for the Twins. Why? Because they're getting back Keon Broxton, 28-year-old, 79 overall. Look at their outfielders. So they have Eddie Rosario in the left field, Byron Buxton in center, who's on the trading block, matter of fact. And look at the right fielder, 68-year-old, 27-year-old. So 68 overall, 27-year-old, and Daniel Paca. I don't know how to say his name, but Keon Broxton is going to slot in there and start right away for them. So I think this is a good trade. They needed an outfielder. We needed a middle infielder. So we're actually going to make this trade. So let's execute this. And they're going to accept that. So right now, let's update our trading block because now we do have an outfield spot open, but Boog Powell is going to get that spot. We're going to move him up to the MLB level. So Boog Powell is going to be there. He's having a tremendous season at AAA. He was hitting 312, did that say? 321 or 312. And over 200 something at bats. So he was hitting the ball really well. I think he earned it. It's his shine, his turn to get a spot. Show us what he's got. I mean, we seen what Brett Phillips had. He did pretty good. But Boog Powell, I think, is a guy that at least can get a shot. I mean, let's just see what he's got. If he doesn't have it, we can always option him down. But let's get into some gameplay, man. Let's just look at these standings real quick. So the Brewers only 2 games ahead of the Cubs. And you know what? Isan Diaz is going to get moved up. He's probably not going to start right away, but Hernan Perez is actually going to get some burn at second base first. I want to see what he does in the starting role, and you never know. If he does well, then maybe I don't need Isan Diaz. Maybe I can store him at the AA or AAA level, probably AAA level because that's where he's been. Maybe I can store him there. So let's just get into some gameplay, man. We're going up against the Cubs in a 3-game series. We have to, widen this gap between us because it's getting close, man. The Cubs are good. They're always sneaky good. So let's just get into this. Let's go.
Milwaukee Brewers.
So we have Zach Davies on the mound. And Zach Davies, I like Zach Davies a lot, man. He's got a really good changeup. He doesn't have an overpowering fastball, but the rest of his pitches are pretty damn good. And here he's facing a tough lineup. The Cubs are stacked from top to bottom. And here he's facing Chris Bryant in the first inning. And Chris Bryant goes deep. And, man, Chris Bryant is a Brewers killer, man. He's a league killer. I mean, What can you say about this guy? What can't he do? He fields the ball. He hits the ball for power, for average, man. He's an all-around great player, and they have John Lester on the mound. And John Lester is an interesting guy, man. But wait, here's Frank.
It's a high fly ball headed for the left field corner. If it stays fair, it's gone. That one is out of here. This game is tied. A solo home run for Franklin Gutierrez. Number 18 for him on the campaign.
Franklin Gutierrez, man, he is, I mean, he is so good on this game. I don't understand it because what were they thinking giving him these kind of ratings? I mean, he's not a great hitter in real life. He's a pretty good rotational piece, maybe a good platoon guy. But besides that, he's not anything more, but he is showing up for me. And I started to get a little nervous because I started to notice his production was dipping. But he's been doing really well as of late. And here's Zach Davies, man. He's striking out plenty of guys, and he's not really a strikeout pitcher, but he was getting a lot of guys to swing and miss this game. But here, Javier Baez, he gets a hit to the right center gap, but here we get Schwarber out. So we do get out of that inning, and we are now on to the 7th inning. And Zach Davies hasn't ran into much trouble up to this point. But here he's giving up a double to the left side there. So they got a guy on second, and Franklin Gutierrez is going to come up throwing. He's going to hold this guy on third. So they got runners on the corners here. So I bring in Brian Shaw because I need to get out of this inning. I want to preserve possibly a no decision for Zach Davies. And Thames misses one, and that is a decider there because, man, every time this happens, I can never recover because here Jason Hayward gets a hit to the gap, and man, if he would have fielded that ball cleanly, that could have possibly been a double play. We could have been out of that inning, but instead we give up 2 runs and we face Wade Davis in the 9th inning. But Jorge Soler starts out the inning with a walk. Travis Shaw comes up next, and I don't know what's up. Maybe I was a little rusty this game, but I was hitting the ball, it seemed like, with perfect timing, especially this pitch. This pitch was right in the middle of the reticle. He just straight up missed it. I mean, that was right on the money. That should have been out of here. That should have been a 3-3 game. But instead, Jet Bandy comes up, and he hits a little bloop to center. So we got guys on the corners. It's not over yet. And Hector Rondon comes in. Take over for Wade Davis, but I don't know why they're bringing in another relief pitcher for their closer. I mean, that's what the closer does. He closes, but he gets Hernan Perez to swing at a bad pitch, and John Lester gets the win. Zach Davies gets the loss, but he does strike out 9, which is a pretty encouraging side, but we do give up 10 hits. So the next game we have Geronimo Reyes versus Kyle Hendricks. Remember, we're in a tight race with the Cubs. They're at this point, they're a half game back. And Geronimo Reyes is starting off this game giving up another home run, another first inning home run to Chris Davis, man. And I have no words. Another first inning home run for him. So we now get our chance at the plate. And Hernan Perez is starting out the game. I have him batting leadoff because Arcia can't really steal bases. And I use his legs to do a hit and run, but he ends up stealing the base. Travis Shaw strikes out on that. But Franklin Gutierrez comes up next, and he gets a hit to center. He stays hot. He's getting hot by the game. I mean, seriously, I mean, he's hitting the ball really well. And here Eric Thames is going to ground out, but they cannot turn double play. Baez with the bad throw there. And Brinson comes up next with another ground ball to Baez, and he can't handle it. He overthrows the first baseman to the right. So Jet Bandy comes up, and he grounds out to Chris Davis, and he can't handle it. So 3 straight errors for the Cubs lead to me scoring a run, and we do take the 2-1 lead. And there's Hassan Diaz with his first Major League at-bat. He grounds out to first. But the recurring theme in this game was Geronimo Reyes. He was walking guys left and right, and that's going to be a problem. I hope he gets better at that come playoff time. If I make the playoffs, come late in the season, I need to worry about winning games first before I worry about the playoffs, because this guy is just walking everybody. But luckily here, with bases loaded, he gets Jason Hayward to pop out into the infield fly rule. So now we have Kyle Schwarber, and we get him to look at a strike 3, and we get out of a bases loaded jam. But here in the next inning, here Geronimo Reyes is giving up another base runner. His whip isn't looking good this game, and he's running into these situations. Addison Russell gets walked, so they got guys on first and second here, and Chris Bryant almost takes the lead there, ties it up, actually takes the lead. And I need to bring in Blake Parker because I need to get out of this inning, so I use that deadly splitter, and I get him out, and Lewis Brinson stays high.
And he leaves the fastball up there, mistaken location. He is going to pay for it dearly, and that ball is sent over the wall, a home run.
Lewis Brinson is heating up. This is his best season by far. He started out the season at like 220 average. He's now up to like 265. So he is rising as each game goes on. Man, this is what I would hope to see, taking over the franchise, left from Braun. But the rookie, Hassan Diaz, comes up in the same inning, and he says, anything you can do, I can do.
Welcome back. There's a swing, and he sends the ball high in the air into left field. Welcome back. And good for him. Diaz just launched his first major league home run. Hard to say how many more of these have been in his career, but for now, I'm sure he's happy to say he's got at least one.
Look, Hassan Diaz in his major league debut hits one deep, and here I'm giving up a home run right back. Danny Valencia straight to center, but Hassan Diaz, what a great sign that is, man. And you know what? I actually like hitting with him because I usually don't like hitting with shorter guys, but he drives the ball hard. I mean, like, you can tell it jumps off his bat. And I'm so excited to play with him. I'm excited to see what the future holds for him. And he's probably the future middle infielder for the Brewers in the future in real life as well. But here in the top of the ninth, man, Hernan Perez misses a grounder. And look what happens. Franklin Gutierrez isn't backing him up, so that ball rolls all the way to the wall. Chris Bryant brings in another run, and it's a 3-4 game. And here Steve Geltz throws a pitch in the dirt, and he advances to third, so Chris Bryant's on third. But luckily, with the infield in, we get a grounder to Hassan Diaz, and we have one more batter to face here, and we get him to strike out Steve Geltz. I put him back at the closer position because I needed that there. And Lewis Brinson gets player of the game. It's so exciting right now because I didn't get many hits that game. I got 7, but Brinson showing up now. Hassan Diaz showing what he's made of. Man, this is a good sighting, but hit subscribe, hit that like button. We'll be back for the next episode.